Well, hello there folks, and welcome back to what is today going to be us going through and doing Mogloween Recapped. We have plenty of maps that we need to go along and check out, and this time we're starting at Join Mogloween. That is because there is lots of stuff you need to be taking a peek at here. Not only is there this aspiring necromancer set you can go through and farm for if you'd like to complete these quests, there are also 3 different classes you're able to pick up here, as well as loads of shops, and some of these shops are super OG. I mean, I was getting throwbacks to way back in the day, the first ever Mogloween event many of us probably went along and took part in. So we will just flick through the shops to start with. One of the first classes though is going to be Vampire Lord. You can spend 2,000 adventure coins on it. I would definitely not recommend doing that though whatsoever, because you are able to in fact merge for it by completing these quests right here. You have got a free player quest and also a member quest that rather inevitably, once you've stacked up enough of those Blood Moon tokens, you're able to go into the Vampire Lord merge shop and then trade them in. So that's definitely the way you want to go about doing it. It's a great farming class, so definitely worth picking up while the event is active if you haven't got it already. There is also a Mogloween Legends shop, and as you can see, some very OG items do lurk within here. Pretty much everything you're going to be seeing today is seasonal rarity, so it will be back in the future if indeed you are watching this video next year. Worth mentioning, within the Mogloween seasonal merge, there is actually some stuff you can spend Legion tokens on, would you believe? Yes, there is a Legion armor within here. It will cost you 750 Legion tokens, so could be worth having a little look at if you had no idea that even existed. The Legion Pumpkin Lord set. Ooh, we'll come across a few of those on our travels. Obviously not Legion ones, but various versions. Bubble Shop has got an absolute classic paper bag helm, so that is one of those really sought after items. We do start off a little bit shoppy to begin with, but we will be jumping into plenty of boss drops, monster items, etc. And of course there's plenty of merges as we go through various different maps. You can pick yourself up a chainsaw from that particular shop if you want, and then there is also just the vampire shop here as well, with some other items that maybe you could consider picking up if you really wanted them. Let us go left first of all to this absolute classic, and no, it is not this pet shop. This, to my knowledge, did not always used to be here. I have no idea when this got added, but you can have a UFO cape apparently, so you never know, that might tickle your pickle. Crucially though, there is the Great Pumpkin King, and this is an absolute classic, and as you can see, these are the items that you can get from it. Evolved Pumpkin Lord class is available, and that is not the only class the Great Pumpkin King drops. Oh my word, that is a tongue twister. That is going to tie me in knots a few times. As we go down this list, you'll notice the second class, which is Pumpkin Lord, so yes, you are able to pick up both from him if you would like. Sadly, and the same thing goes for many of the older Mogloween maps and items, they are often for legend only, but don't worry, that does not continue throughout. And whilst we go into this house, there is this ghostly sheet, and if you would like the ghostly cape, you can get it, and you can also get yourself your very own ghostly sheet. Downstairs is those Jacko Dooms, which just drop you their helms, and you can get this Ivy Blade if you did want to defeat Pumpkin Fred on the right. The Blister is an absolute classic and pinnacle of Mogloween. If you decide to press that red button and go along and challenge him, you can get the Blister's chainsaw. That is still available as a drop. Sadly though, as we said, it is going to be one of those legend only items, but nevertheless a good OG one if you wanted to pick it up. Join Mogloween Grave is our next location. Thriller on the left is one of the monsters we're going to be looking at, and as you can see, there are a few different drops they are able to get from him. Again, sadly, they are just going to be for legends. However, if you head over to the far right-hand side of this map, you will find yourself a second boss, this time the Zombie Terror, with a few more, I say a few more, plenty of drops accessible for everyone, all AC tags, so if you would like any of these, definitely worth going along and picking them up to place safely within your bank. There are armors included within this list, as well as some pumpkin patch items for your house, so definitely something you need to go along and have a look at. Shadow Jester is probably one of my favourite items that does drop from here, and like I say, there's about 3 different sets you're able to actually get from this monster, so he's definitely one of those that if you do fancy any of these things that are quickly flicking up on screen, you really should go along and maybe just beat him up a few times. Who knows, they may even add some extra bits on. As with all these videos, where you see green rare against an item, I will not preview it because those are rare, so they will not be in the game anymore unless you really wanted to IODA one of them, but I have no idea where anyone would ever want to do that. Join a Candy Shop is up next, and first of all we have the Candied Costumes merge. So this has some really cool stuff. You've got like these lightning orbs, there's some lightning affected items. If you're a fan of those, they are fully worth picking up. I didn't really realise they were even in this shop until I went back through, which is one of the reasons we do these recap series. There's so many different maps, so many different items. It is really easy just to forget what's where and what even exists half the time. Anyway, that's not the only thing though we're going to be looking at this map, because there are also some drops you're able to get. The ghouls within this map will drop you a few items. When I say a few, there's 2 cobwebs if you want to add some cobwebs to your house. You have this red Moglinster, again with some more house items for you. You will notice that some of the monsters here do sort of cross over their items, particularly these Moglinsters, but we'll show you what each of them drop anyway. Next up we have the green one. So the green one will drop you a cauldron this time, so very nice if you do fancy a cauldron for your house. And the dark Moglinster again has this list of drops, very similar to the red one we looked at a moment ago. Lastly, there is the super Moglinster, and the super Moglinster has yet another kind of cauldron for us and some blades, would you believe. It is now time to map hop, and we are map hopping over to join Voltabolt. And once you're at Voltabolt, there are more Moglinsters, but this time robotic ones, and they drop some really cool swords actually and weapons, and you can pick up the red Moglinster set, so they are definitely worth going along and beating up if you have a moment. The chair kind of continues with the theme. You do get the spear version of those items we looked at a minute ago, which I do think look rather nice. And then the boss in this area not only has chatter teeth, but you can grab yourself the Voltabolt armor and helm. Our next location is Dash Join Candycorn, and the first monsters you come across, can we even call them monsters, are Candy Kids. And Candy Kids kind of drop that Tomy book that you just saw really quickly flash up on screen. Out in the field are these field guardians who drop you some very nice looking dual sickles. The boss for the area is this Stalk Walker. Stalk Walker drops are incredibly similar to, here we go, Pumpkin King. I did miss great out of the name there, which is incredibly frustrating, but hey ho, we're not going to re-record that yet again because that took a few tries already. Next up is going to be Dash Join Pie. First of all, if you head inside of Cicero's Forge, you'll come across Baron Luca, who has got a very interesting armor and also some not as interesting, kind of more normal-like armors, and a zombie morph type thing. So, you know, a few different things are dropping from the Baron if you would like to head along. We've got some monsters in the area as well. We've got these Gordos, I think that's how we say their name, with some pretty up-to-date drops actually. They are AC tagged, a lot of them, and as you saw, a little bit of crossover with the Baron as well. The Mist Imp does have you a Choco Sword if you'd like a Choco Sword, and whatever kind of axey thing that was. There's also a Dark Moglinster, but again, it's the same sort of things with these Jacko daggers thrown in. Join Asylum is up next. This one here, the only reason we're here, to be honest with you, is one, so you're aware, and two, so we can have a look at the committed merge. As always, it's the same kind of thing. The items for this merge are going to be at the next 2 maps. So join Mirror Maze. One of the things we could briefly mention is there's a ghoul. If you defeat the ghoul, you can get an axe and kind of these little knife dagger things. Not very exciting, I'm afraid. Over at Join Catacombs, the other map, you do have 2 different versions of the same boss. If we head to this one here, that is outdoors, which is version 2, you have got a slightly longer drop list that we can have a look at. There is a scorpion, yes, it drops a scorpion, the Death Ripper armor, but probably my favourite thing that drops from here is going to be the Death Ripper cow. I don't know why, I just like it when it's a dark, mysterious figure hiding away, so could be worth it on one of your sets. Join Franken is up next. First of all, you have got the Mogloween merge shop, full of glowing items, going along with a glow stick theme, so they're pretty quirky. You do also have Franken Werepire outside at this map, again with various different drops. That's the entire list. Sadly, he previews a bit funky, so we won't load up every single item in this case, but you could just pause on the list if you'd like to have a look. That Daimyo house item looks pretty cool. There's also like his face you can grab, and this really cool looking sword as well. So there are some nice items that do drop. There's like these shadowy figure capes. The normal version drops this one, but if you go along to the Ultra Fight, there are some additional items you're able to farm for. Most notably are some more of those shadowed figure capes, just different kind of stances, but again, definitely worth going along and picking up. There's an RIP, I presume that is a house item, and as we said, some really nice stances that you can go along and pick up. That is the ominous one. There's also a suspicious shadowy fiend to go with that, as well as a scythe. Just thought I'd throw the scythe in the mix as well. Join Po Hub is our next location. This one has again got some shops for us just to have a little look at before we continue on to the maps mentioned here. We will be flicking quite fast through the next few maps because, to be honest, they don't drop overly much, so there's only a couple bits we really need to look at. You will notice in the background on the right hand side there is also a bookcase. The bookcase does have something pretty quirky. Sadly, it is for legends only, but what we'll do is we'll close this down and let us have a look at what this bookcase does drop. And as I said, it is a single item that goes by the name of Ghost of Mogloween. Ooh. Anyway, over to Join Crusher. To be honest, I'm only mentioning this map because it exists. There's nothing of note really there for us. Instead, if you drop over to Join Cask, you can go along to where these spiders are and you can grab yourself this cat pet. And who knows, maybe you want a kitten. I thought it was pretty cool. Join Wyvern and there is a Sepulchure. Sadly, Sepulchure does not have any really cool drops for us, but there is this scythe you're able to pick up and also this clown face. Maybe you consider them cool, but maybe not in my book. Join Necronaut is our next location. There is an ultra version of the monster here as well. I believe both have the exact same item drop, so you might as well just defeat whichever one you want if you do like any of those kind of toxic items. Join Mystcroft Forest is up next. First of all, there is this shop available to you, and as you can see, everything is AC tagged, so maybe worth picking up and putting in your bank. If you do decide to head to the boss, the only thing you can get is a pet version of him, because sadly, all the other items that were pretty cool have gone rare. Join Blood Moon is going to be our next location, and once you're here, there is a big Bubble Cat. If you would like to defeat Bubble, you can get a torch, and you can also get this Rockstar armor, which I thought was pretty nice looking, to be fair to it. There is also this monster right here, which drops a pet version of itself. I don't know if you want that. Who knows? Join Chrome Affection is up next, and this has the black and white pumpkin set, which is one of my favourites in this video, to be honest with you. First of all, you'll come across a free samples table, which does have caramel apple and hard candy for you. But inside the building, you'll find yourself Chrome Affection, and if you do defeat this, there is a ghostly spirit, which looks absolutely awesome. And crucially, there is this black and white, or known as Colourless pumpkin armor, that you're able to go along and pick up the whole set for. Definitely one of those things that you must go along and get, in my opinion, and also a pretty cool pet at the end. Join Twigs Arcade is the place to be if you like your quirky items. Scotty Sneevil has got a morph of himself. This is going to be a running theme. There is a little Swarmer, which again has got this kind of Moglin armor that's half Twilly and half Zorbot. And then you have got Clucky Moo, I think it's called Clucky Moo, which is the chicken cow, which again drops a morph for itself, just like the Sneevil chap. There is also a little yellow Moglin here called Swarmer, and if you find Swarmer, those are the drops you can expect. Creepy Twig has got a couple house items for you, just in case you'd like to decorate your house with any of those bits and bobs. Creepy Twilly similarly has just got some balloons for us. Lastly though, if you head all the way to the end, is the baby boss, and if you defeat the baby boss, there is a teddy, there is also a cape version of baby, and a pet to go with it. Join Zorbot is going to be our next map. You'll want to defeat the Moglins here until they drop you the Broken Spring. It is a temporary item. Then you can head through to the next room and actually defeat the Zorbot itself. Now, if you go along and defeat Zorbot, these are the items you can expect to get. Yes, of course, it is basically just a set of Zorbot itself. The bottom two items are rare, so ignore those. Defeat Zorbot a few times, get yourself the purple key, and then you can advance to the right to the reject pile, where there are plenty and plenty of items that maybe, just maybe, you'd like to consider getting. Galaxy Witch looks absolutely awesome. That is a really nice set, definitely worth picking up if you haven't got that one already. Again, there's some more like zombie Franken type armors, really like the Scream Hood. It's a Twig Scream Hood, so that is one of those extra bonus ones that maybe you never knew existed as a drop. Okie dokes, our next map is Join Masquerade. First of all, we'll head up the stairs, and as you can see, there are guests wandering around. At least they would if AQ wasn't like a static game. The guests do, however, have a full-blown set you're able to go along and pick up, so that could be something worth considering. Heading to the right-hand side of the map, and through this doorway, there is a replay button. If you've completed the quest chain, hit that, and you will find yourself that this enemy will spawn for you. The Script Keeper, believe it or not, and go through, and there is a few different drops available for you. Outside of the building, to the far left-hand side, are some tree ants, and these tree ants, again, have actually got some pretty nice items you're able to go along and pick up, including the Enchanted Fairy Attendant armor, which I can only but presume is enchanted, must be colour custom. Heading all the way out to where we went past earlier, you'll find yourself the actual boss for the area, and would you believe there are some more boss drops you can get. There is an armor which annoyingly flicked off the screen stupidly quickly, so apologies for that, but maybe you can have it as a surprise. Join that is our next location. To teleport around, you need to click on the map in the top right hand corner and then just pick the icon that you'd like to travel to. If you do head through and go to where the echo of that is located inside the cave, there is quite a long list of drops and a little kind of set that you're able to go along and grab. So sadly, no AC tags attached to these. Some of the items are for legends only, but you never know, you could think maybe it's particularly cool and you want to go along and pick it up. Heading down to the right, in the same area that you're already in, you'll find yourself black lights, and these do drop as a cape and pet variants. We're then going to teleport right to the bottom where that actually is, and that again has got a couple extra drops for us. The Mafia weapon is staff birthday tag, so that may not drop, so if you're not getting it, don't spend hours trying to get it, but it's not rare, so it will be back at some point in the future. Join Crescent Moon is going to be our next map, and first of all, there is the Crescent Merge. You're able to go through and maybe grab some of these if you particularly fancy them. Also, there is a boss. We're going to head out to the right hand side in just a second, but before we do that, this is the Horseman's gear. It's like a treasure hunt. I'm pretty sure I covered it in a video last year, so it's on the channel somewhere if you need help going through and completing those quests. But like we said, Royce is the boss in this area, and these are the drops that you're able to get from Royce. First of all, there is a little ghost eater. I don't really know how we say that. I think that's how we say it. At least that's how I'm going to. There's also some ground flames, so I can only but presume a ground room. Essentially just a full-blown set that you're able to pick up from this boss. Next up though, we are going to head over to join Maxius. This one is Friday the 13th tag, so if you can't get it and you're a free player, that's why. It's a bit of a funky one, which is why I've put it at the end. However, there are some ghouls, and the ghouls do drop you a couple of AC tagged items. Heading down the right, you'll come across Count Maxius. This is the version 1 of him. There's a couple of different ones here. Quite a cool seal and quite a cool cape. Thought it may be worth showing you. Heading down the right, yet again would you believe, are some vampire minions, and vampire minions have got some hair available for you as well as this scythe. And then we can go right once more, and this time around is going to be this little kind of evil Moglin dude. I can't really remember what his name is, even though his name is literally right in front of me on the screen. Barnabas! That was it, of course, it was Barnabas. But as you can see, some more items for you do drop from him, just in case you like any of those. But lastly, and certainly not least, is the final version 2 of Count Maxius, who does have for you this armor set, as well as, well, I don't even know what to describe those weapons there. We'll leave it up to your imagination. Anyway folks, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do leave the video a like, and of course subscribe. If you've listened to me chat literally for 17.5 minutes of your life, fair play to you. Congratulations for making it all the way to the end of the video, and thank you as always for watching. But until next time, have a lovely day, and I'll see you all again for another one incredibly soon, and we'll of course recap whatever the next event may be.